remote work, full-time remote work, but now things have changed, Jamil.
That's
Companies
right.
are saying, hey, come back to the office. Well, welcome back to the Cornerstone Realtor Team Podcast. We're glad that you're with us today. Today we are outdoors, Jamil.
Yes, we are.
How do you like that?
I like it.
Welcome to summertime. Today we're breaking down an important subject that is affecting the Tri-Valley, the going back to the office. A lot of companies have called their employees back to the office. So there's an effect on the real estate because of those decisions. Before we were dealing with remote work, full-time remote work, but now things have changed, Jamil.
That's
Companies
right.
are saying, hey, come back to the office. We need to do more in-office stuff. So we're going to break it down today, and we're going to talk about how does this decision by a lot of corporations affect the market in the Tri-Valley.
Yeah, so what happened during the remote work boom is people, they saw that they can move farther away from their office and establish a home office and work from home. And that became essential. Home offices became essential. Demand surged for bigger homes here in the Tri-Valley, especially Dublin. And buyers prioritized location over their commute, right? Where they're located. They didn't want to be close to the office anymore. They wanted to be in a bigger home where they had an office. And so the families moved away from Silicon Valley and into the East Bay. And people wanted bigger lots, dedicated offices, better schools, and outdoor spaces. And so the low interest rates really helped them do that. They were able to buy these big homes, 3,000 to 4,000 square feet and bigger here in the Tri-Valley, and really have that suburban lifestyle. Now, during remote work, people optimize for lifestyle, right? They work at home and then they have their backyard and they can go out, in the cities and, do what they have to do. But commute became almost irrelevant. So they had more time on their hands, right? But once companies started calling people back, back to the office, the priorities started to shift. And we're seeing that today with people moving back to San Jose and San Francisco because of companies calling people back to work. They have to have, let's say, 3 days in the office or 2 days in the office or every day. And so the companies really want people back because they can collaborate. It's really important to collaborate. So
yeah. So basically, the commute time is back in play now. Well, before you can hop on 580 or 680, and it was empty during the whole pandemic time. A lot of people went remote, but now the commute time is back in play. And some companies have had hybrid schedules. Now it changed the buying habits of people because now they work 2 days a week in the office and 3 from home. So things have changed. We have a shift in the mindset and in the lifestyle of people. Long commutes became harder to justify. When somebody is going to sit on the freeway for an hour or 90 minutes, now they're thinking twice. Buyers are evaluating drive time again. Some owners reconsidered where they lived. They are looking at things and saying, is it worth my time to be on the road this much with this changing schedule? Major employers increased in-office days, like Jamil said. Hybrid requirements. They came up with different requirements because they expect team collaboration now. The difference between full remote and hybrid, fully in the office, things have shifted a little bit. And so people take that into account. So commute fatigue returned. I remember in the early 2000s where 580 and 680 looked like a parking lot about 5:30 a.m. So the commute fatigue came back to the buyer's mind about relocating. How many days will I realistically commute? Now they're asking these questions. in their mind. It depends on their schedules at work and what their companies have called for. Can I handle that type of commute? So we're looking at these things in a way now that the market has shifted to more of a in-office work than before. So areas with easier freeways and access to BART, they've gained more attention right now. When you live in a city or you're closer to the freeway, hop on, hop off, or BART access, they're getting more attention. Walkability and convenience increased the value of those different areas. So the commute didn't disappear. It just went into a pause because of the shifting with the pandemic. So now people are thinking about the commute times again.
And I'm sure you're wondering, so how it impacted the Tri-Valley. How did it impact the home prices in the Tri-Valley? And the return to office policies softened some demand, but it did not collapse it. And so that's important to understand that the demand normalized and price growth slowed over time, and in some areas, right? Not every neighborhood is different. The highly desirable neighborhoods remain resilient, and we've seen that. We've experienced that. You put the right house on the market, and the right everything in it. Bedroom downstairs, the right location, close to schools, something people want, it's going to fly off the shelf. And so move-up buyers, they're becoming more cautious, and we're seeing that even live in today's market. Here's what changed though: fewer bidding wars, longer days on the market. We're not seeing that as much demand, and more buyer negotiation. We're seeing that. What stayed strong is updated homes and prime school districts. People are moving for school districts, and if you have a close enough job, like in Pleasanton or in the Tri-Valley, Dublin, you know what? There is no commute. So if you live in Dublin, you work in Pleasanton, that's great. So that's a win-win. And not every neighborhood reacts equally. So you cannot compare one neighborhood to the other. And some cities remain stronger than others. So that's important because of schools' infrastructure and proximity to their employment location, like I was saying. So here's what you're thinking. Did the Tri-Valley crash? And the answer is no. It's recalibrated. It's just a little bit different.
Another thing that we need to talk about, which buyers are driving the market now. It's good to know, if you're a seller, what are buyers thinking and what they're coming after. Today's buyers, they're balancing lifestyle and practicality. They're not just looking for a big house with a big pool with all the space. They're looking at things in a different way. The hybrid workers still want space because they're working 3 days in the office, 2 days at home, or vice versa. But convenience still matters to them. Buyers are more selective now when they're looking at a home. They're looking at all these points. Value perception changed. So buyers' priorities are flexible floor plans, home office where they can have a space to work because some of them are on a hybrid week. So they're working partial week from home, partial they're traveling to their office. Commute access is very important if your house is accessible to the freeways, because sometimes it takes about 10-15 minutes to get to the freeway. So they're looking at that. Quality of life, they're looking at the community, what quality of life that the community offers, or the home that they're buying. Is it conducive to their lifestyle? Some buyers now, they prefer a smaller upgraded home. It's not just size anymore. Some of them during the pandemic were just looking for a large space because everybody's home. Kids are going to school from home. They wanted a pool, they wanted entertainment, but now they're looking at smaller upgraded homes, close in location. They're looking at their work commute. Instead of maybe 90 minutes, they might do 45 minutes. So their whole perception has changed and shifted with their new schedules. Newer communities near transit, it's very important. If they're taking BART into San Francisco, So they're looking at all of that. Move-in ready homes. Hybrid compromises are not too far, not too small, not too expensive. So they're shifting their mindset a little bit. So like Jamil said, it's not causing a crash, but it's a recalibration of the market. Today's buyers, they want both space and accessibility. So that's what they're thinking. That's what buyers are thinking. So if you're a seller, you have to put your buyer's hat on and think in the right way, because the market has definitely did a recalibration.
And you know, what homeowners should really understand now is pricing strategy and positioning matter more than they did during the pandemic frenzy. I mean, things were way different in 2021, and buyers are comparing value more than ever. They're more cautious. They're looking at homes, and it has to be the right home. We've experienced this with our buyers. We're like, this is a great house, but there's just one thing wrong, they won't buy it. Overpricing hurts more today. So sellers, I'm talking to you. Listen to your agents. Overpricing, it's really gonna hurt you. Because people, they will not come out and look at it. They're being cautious because payments are higher, interest rates are higher. So they're just being more careful and cautious. Presentation and upgrades do matter. Location advantages should be emphasized when you're selling your home. But sellers need to market the commuter convenience. People need to know what is their drive time to work, transit access, office setup, if you have space for an office, and then what are the amenities, the lifestyle. And you know, the question is, why do turnkey homes outperform? Because people can buy it and move right in. They don't have to do any work. I know whenever there's work to be done on a house, a lot of buyers shy away from that because they have to deal with contractors and permits. And no one wants to do that. It's a lot of work when you have a family and you have work yourself. So the importance of understanding realistic pricing, staging, and strategic marketing will help you get more for your home. But here's our advice. Don't price your home on the expectation of 2021 prices.
Mm-hmm.
That is not happening as much.
Good advice.
Maybe 10%. And you need to really understand the current buyer psychology. Listen, we understand that this time is emotional when you're selling a house and when you are buying a house. It's emotional. So you need to put your buyer hat on, like Ramis said, and understand that they're dealing with 6% interest rates and taxes, and insurance is high right now. So you add all this stuff up, and guess what? Gas prices are high. So you add all this stuff up, there's so much pressure on buyers right now. So just understanding that will help you sell your home.
That's right. And then closing thoughts that we have for you to really take away from this is the return to the office policy has changed buyers' behavior in the Tri-Valley. It didn't erase the demand, but it shifted a little bit. People are thinking, like Jamil said, in all the different points. And they simply remind buyers that where you still live still needs to work for your commute and for your work time. So people are thinking a little bit more. They're taking things into consideration. That's why time on market has increased a little bit. People are not pulling the trigger very fast. They're calculating all these things to make sure that when they buy a house, it's the right fit for them. So today's market, the homes that are winning are the ones that have a balanced lifestyle, flexibility, and practicality. All the points that we have talked about. So if you're in the market and you're wondering about your neighborhood, how it affected the price and changing demands for your neighborhood, or you're trying to decide whether now is the right time for you to sell your house in the Tri-Valley, reach out to us. We'd love to sit with you and give you a very close comparable understanding of what your value is in your home. Talk about all these points, how your house fits the need of the potential buyers now that are coming into our market. We're happy to help you understand and break it down neighborhood by neighborhood where things are happening locally, not just in big markets, because the Bay Area is made up of micro markets. So each neighborhood has to be taken separately and dissected separately. So if you like what you hear, make sure you like us on Facebook, Instagram, follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and if you want any of our materials, buyer's guide, seller's guide, just comment below and we'll send them out to you.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
And share this with a friend that you know might want to buy or sell.
Thank you.